We stopped laughing before the thing started.
That was pretty good.
Well, okay. Hello, hello.
Hi,
I'm Selene Castrovilla,
I'm Pascale.
and this is Life in Jest, a show where we subscribe to Chaucer's sage words in the Canterbury Tales. Many a true word hath been spoke in jest. I have a mini segment. We're going to hopefully get to part 2 of the horror movies,
Who knows?
but I have to bring this up because we have more fun with that court jester himself, Michael Proctor from the Karen Reed trial.
Which one was that?
I'm going to tell you. Michael Proctor was the lead investigator into the death of Karen Reed's boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Proctor shot to infamy over the vulgar and misogynistic texts he sent about
that
Karen to his
guy.
friends, family, and coworkers.
Yeah.
These messages came to light in a now closed federal investigation into the case, and they included crass remarks about Reed's health and appearance, a joke about searching for nude photos on her phone, and a comment expressing hope that she might kill herself. What a charming man. Right? Love it.
Yeah, not so nice.
So Reed long maintained that she was framed for murder in a vast law enforcement conspiracy, and she named Proctor as one of the linchpins. Now, I don't know, like he wasn't there on the scene. He definitely isn't one of the people that actually, although, was he in the garage with the guy? No. I don't think Proctor was there when the taillight got broken. I think it was the chief of police and that guy, Brian, not Higgins. Who's Brian Higgins? That's from the OJ thing.
Oh,
Brian Higgins was a fake name on the OJ call.
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm thinking about something from 1994 that comes into my head.
Yeah. Listen,
He's
I don't
looking
know
real scared.
Yeah. I don't know who any of these people
Brian.
are. This is all on you.
All right. Brian. Is his name Higgins? Wait a minute. I don't know. Brian, the guy that was sexting.
Is he the guy whose house it was? Oh, no, that guy.
The guy that was sexting with her, and he's the one, Brian, definitely that's his first name. And why do I feel like his last name might be Higgins? Is it? And he's the one that destroyed his phone on the army base. Never mind you want to turn it in for thing. Never mind you just throw it out, but you throw it out on an army's base where it cannot be gotten back no matter what. That's not suspicious at all. Right?
Yeah, but what happened to him? Nothing happened to him.
That's what I'm saying. So he's definitely part of the conspiracy. You know, something happened to John in that house, and he was there, and he is the one that was in the police garage when that girl, before she recanted it, she said she saw him and the police, not the police commissioner, the police chief from Canton go into the Sally Port. I'll never forget that word, for a crazy amount of time, and the cameras just unfortunately weren't working either. It's a shame when that happens.
Yeah.
So this guy wasn't part of that, but this guy was still very bad with at the very least, what he did was absolutely disgusting and clearly decided she was guilty without any investigation. And there's a lot of, I know he did stuff with other evidence that he had, like that it was very suspicious with John O'Keefe's clothing and things. I know there was some stuff about that with him, but he wasn't there for the tail light thing, which was a huge thing. I mean, that was literally framing her, you know, allegedly. I don't know. Can we say, I don't know if we need to, whatever. So, she was acquitted, as if you guys listen, you know this, or you might know it anyway. Well, obviously if you listen, you're here, but whatever.
I've been here and I don't know. Oh yeah, I do know. Never mind.
Know she was acquitted. I mean, you may not know much about it,
no,
but
I really don't. But yeah.
And the high profile case has had lasting implications for Proctor and his other investigations, because now they're looking into other people that he investigated. You know, a lot of things are all on hold because of him, because of they're checking. So the state police suspended Proctor during a lengthy internal affairs investigation, and then they fired him in March, citing in part his conduct during Reed's case. And Proctor appealed to get his job back. And he went on what I call his redemption tour after Karen Reed's trial ended, which certainly wasn't good that she got acquitted for him. Redemption really has to be earned. And I don't know who taught this guy about behavior, but it's pretty bad because they interviewed him on like all the major shows, the crime shows, like 48 Hours, all those. What's that show I love? Dateline. I haven't watched Dateline in so long. I'm over it now, but whatever. I did love it. So anyway, he did not acknowledge his wrongs. He did not seek forgiveness, and he did not display true remorse. No, he doubled down on his blowing off steam, saying things in jest excuse. That's why I called him a jester. He took our title and besmirched it in jest.
Oh my.
Yes. And then he said, so many people do the same thing. Why should I get in trouble? Which is like on the playground, the little kid going, hey, he did it. He didn't get in trouble. I mean, like, hello? What grade are you in?
Ooh.
So I say, Michael, 2 wrongs don't make a right, and 1,000 wrongs don't make a right. So Proctor's union, which is the State Police Association of Massachusetts, initially came to his defense and alleged that the firing was guided by expedience, the relentless drumbeat of conspiracy theorists, and the intense glare of the media spotlight. But suddenly, just recently, Proctor dropped his appeal to win back his job. And his lawyer said there's newly available but unspecified disclosures. So then the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office subsequently issued a notice regarding data from Proctor's phone that stretched back as far as 2013, contained material potentially relevant to other cases he investigated. What I want to know is, why did it take them so long to go through his phone and find this stuff? It has been a very long time. It is not that hard to go through someone's phone. Ask any woman that ever looked for a cheating boyfriend. Why are they bothering? Because they had to see if he did anything to anybody else. He's a cop.
I guess that's true.
It's a huge thing. If he did it to her, that compromised her case. It turns out he did. So, my question is, I don't know how it could have taken so long. I don't know how. What are they doing over there? They've got whole teams. We could break down a guy's phone in 2 seconds. Like, give me an hour. I don't know exactly what that guy did for the last 10 years, as long as it's still in his stuff, in his texts and all that, Yeah, but the cops know how to do the forensic stuff and get it back.
Yeah.
So a review of Michael Proctor's personal cell phone data revealed not only the ex-trooper's crass texts about Karen Reed, but images of intimate body parts and other sensitive information. So he must have had like a lot of nudes of people. And one text chat contained highly sensitive information, including images of intimate body parts of people not participating in the chat, screenshots of Facebook posts by non-participants, images of non-participants, full phone numbers and personal emails of the text chain participants, and the name of a sexual assault victim. So that's what the prosecutor said. So then Proctor's union pulled its support for Proctor's Civil Service Commission appeal, which is kind of funny because I think what happened was first he withdrew his appeal and then they pulled the support, which seems like ridiculous because but I guess they needed to really publicly distance themselves from this guy because they were like, oh, no, this is not looking good for us, But it's just kind of funny to pull your support for something that's already been ended. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But these are the games people play.
They have to.
Yeah. Well, at least they actually did this. At least they, and they said, following the discovery of new evidence from Michael Proctor's cell phone, the State Police Association of Massachusetts' executive board unanimously voted to sever all support for his appeal. Ooh, sever. There's a word. President Brian Williams, there's another Brian, said in a statement, "We hope this decisive move closes a deeply embarrassing chapter in state police history." Well, that is well said. It certainly has been a deeply embarrassing chapter. I only wish that more people would acknowledge it, like the district attorney, who still to this day does not say publicly that Karen Reed was innocent, which really still fuels a lot of malice toward her. And I think it's really bad that he does that. And we can only hope that more than closing a chapter, that something like this will never happen again. And I don't know. It doesn't look good because even in the case that Proctor was also doing that stuff with his coworkers and things, like the people that were still on the case were revealed to be part of a chat thing. Like, I mean, what is wrong with you guys? So I just had to bring up something else that also happened in Canton, because it happened in Canton, That is the town where John O'Keefe was killed. Somehow he died. We still don't know exactly how that happened, which is really unbelievable, right? It's really unbelievable. We never got any facts out of this whole thing. We know what didn't happen, but we don't know what did happen. But this one also involves a local police officer, and it also happened during a nor'easter. Isn't that crazy? This is really upsetting, and I really almost didn't want to talk about this, but I figured, well, since we're talking about Michael Proctor again and Canton, might as well talk about something else horrible that happened in Canton. Sandra Birchmore, only 23, and of course, my son was 23, so that hits me hard. I get upset about everything, but this girl was a very vulnerable girl. Her mother had died, and before that, her mother was really the only one she had. She was an only child, and she was a very vulnerable person to begin with. At 23, she was 8 to 10 weeks pregnant, and she was found dead in her Canton apartment. And it turns out that a married police officer named Matthew Farwell, who is now 39, and he worked in neighboring Staunton, which it's another town nearby. He worked for their police department, and Sandra had grown up there. And he had been grooming her and statutory raping her since she was a young teen. And this is unbelievable. She joined the Staunton Police Explorers Program, which is a program for local kids who want to work in law enforcement. It's supposed to be such a good thing. And by doing that, she was exploited not only by him, but there's 4 people altogether in that police department. 4. But this guy, obviously the worst, but it's disgusting. She joined this program when she was only 12. Her mother really thought she was doing a good thing for her, right? And this guy Farwell became an instructor in 2012, and then he started abusing her in 2013 when she was 15, and he was 27. Ugh. So what happened was Birchmore's friend contacted the Staunton Police Department in January of 2021 and told an employee about the sexual relationship between Farwell and Birchmore. And she was pregnant, but I don't think she said that. But she was trying to get this guy in trouble. Sandra was, of course, in love with him and thought, she was just completely, she had been absolutely, groomed and brainwashed by this guy since she was 15. And she thought, he probably gave her the line about he was going to be with her or whatever. But they always kill you when you're pregnant. I mean, it's like, it happens so often. So, but what happened was when she called and reported it, the guy that she reported it to, instead of filing a report about it, told Farwell. He didn't write down I mean, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So that tipped this guy off that he was in trouble. She was murdered shortly. They thought she killed herself at first, but this happened very soon after because he realized that otherwise he was going to lose his job, lose his wife, with all that stuff. And his wife was also pregnant, of course.
But did he not lose it all now?
Well, he just didn't think he was going to get. He didn't get caught for a long time. So here's what happened: the investigation was sloppy and short. Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey, the same guy that's with the Karen Reed thing, who won't say Karen Reed is innocent to this day, and the state medical examiner's office declared Birchmore's death a suicide a few months after she died, and no criminal charges were filed at the time. And I have to point out that this is yet another case where a medical examiner made a mistake, and because of that mistake, justice was delayed for years and almost never came. Listen to the Dateline episode recently, and the FBI decided to open an investigation, and that's how justice happened. But I think they had a separate medical examiner look at it. And that medical examiner, you could tell when someone's strangled and then made to look like they killed themselves. Like, you can tell that. Well, in this case, they could. And they found a necklace that was broken off her neck while he was strangling her. It discarded in the room. But it's clear there was a struggle, and nobody either noticed or reported it. So it was all very sloppy. So the FBI stepped in, I guess, because they investigated cops. That's what they did also with the Karen Reed, And so it happened in 2021, and he got arrested. I think it was this year. Could have been last year. They arrested him and detailed the allegations against him. So just the other day, he was charged with causing the death of a child in utero in a superseding indictment by a federal grand jury. So he was charged with killing her. The first charge was killing a witness because she would be a witness against him that he had committed crimes. So because he killed a witness, it carries the possibility of a death penalty. And the Department of Justice is set to this is all, I guess, federal charges. So the Department of Justice is set to make a decision about seeking capital punishment by January 20th, and his trial is not expected to begin until October of 2026. But now he's also charged with the death of the baby, which is good. I'm glad. And she was so excited. Everybody knew she didn't kill herself right away because she was so excited to be having a baby. Because these girls, they're so lonely and everything, and they do think having a baby is going to fix their lives, and they're going to be. And I'm sure she would have been very happy to be with the baby, but it certainly wasn't going to fix her life. But there's no way she would have killed herself. Everybody's like, no, she was thrilled to be having the baby. Matthew was also accused of grooming, statutory rape, and sexual violence against Birchmore. Acting United States Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, Joshua S. Levy said. And it turned out the baby was a male. Prosecutors say Farwell groomed Birchmore from the time she was a high school student, committing statutory rape and engaging in a years-long sexual relationship with her. She became pregnant in late 2020 and told him he was the father. And then he allegedly killed her in February 2021 to prevent the truth about their relationship from coming to light, strangling her in her apartment and staging it to look like a suicide. His wife gave birth to his child the next day. Can you imagine?
His life was busy.
But I mean, like the next day, how do you kill somebody that's pregnant when you have children? He already had children. I mean, he's horrible.
You're trying to make sense out of someone who would kill someone.
Yeah. No, I don't know. This is a guy that is supposed to serve and protect us. And look what he did to her all that time, and to kill her. The whole thing is just. I mean, it's just. There's horrible, and then there's absolutely devastatingly horrible. He's just the worst. Your cat is flickering in and out. It looks like a ghost.
Oh, I know. It's because I have this background. This is not my house. See, if I do it, you'll see me flickering.
Oh my God. You really tricked me. I thought you got new stuff.
You thought I got a whole new setup?
I figured that was your old microphone. It just looks like a bookshelf. It's not that outrageous that you would have that.
Oh.
Wow. Look at you.
I'm way too lazy for that.
No, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you would, get a bookshelf and stuff. I don't know. I thought the microphone was a nice touch on the top. There you go. All right.
Not that together.
Well, you are. You always do your apartment very nice. Don't say that.
Really?
Actually, I should have known because we didn't have that clown in the background. That's what you really would have.
He
the
is
horrible
everywhere.
Clown. I know he is. I hate. I guess he scares
I got
me.
a doormat for Halloween, and it's him looking up from the sewer.
That's been very popular this year. People have him covering the garage. Did you see that?
Someone showed me that today. I was like, I wish I had a garage.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad you got your doormat. I think you could probably keep that doormat all year round. You love him so much.
Yeah, but I really like the one I have. It says, "Don't let the cats out or the cops in."
Yeah, after this episode, we have more reasons not to let the cops in.
Isn't that terrible? And that's why people don't trust the police, because of all these horrible cops.
Yeah, there is a lot. It's unbelievable.
I know, but there are so many good cops. It's so
there are
sad.
amazing. I know. Those cops should be the most outraged of all because it makes them all look bad. It's awful.
It does.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and so then they discovered that her baby was not his, through DNA. So she probably thought it was, but
God.
Right. But well, that's kind of ironic. But I mean, he would have been exposed anyway, even if the baby wasn't his, you know what I mean? But there was another person who had been sexually exploiting her that was very close to Matthew. His twin brother, William Farwell, was also sleeping with her.
Good Lord.
Who was also a cop. Pretty disgusting, right? But he didn't start sleeping with her until she was an adult. But of course, by that time, first of all, when you're an adult, I think we've already established that just because you're legally adult does not make you actually there's young people are still kind of a mess. Even in the best circumstances, they hardly act like an adult, right? But I mean, very rarely, some do. But mostly They're still, their frontal lobe is not developed. I mean, we've been through this with a lot of things. But this girl, particularly having been groomed by the guy, he just passes her off to his brother. She just, and then there were two other cops too. Can you imagine? There were Robert Devine, a former deputy chief, was also accused of sexually exploiting her, and his proceedings are ongoing. Matthew's brother, William, voluntarily gave up his Massachusetts law enforcement certification in September of 2024. So I guess he got arrested. He must have been arrested in 2024. That's when it all came out. So Matthew and William both voluntarily gave up their certifications, because the brother had lied about the extent of his relationship with Birchmore when he was questioned. They always do, And then this other guy, Joshua Heel, well, that name, well, he's a heel, but he's like when you're horrible, but unfortunately his last name is the good kind of heel, Heal, but this guy is not healing. He, at the time, was an animal control officer. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but he also had. You think of the show? It's a good show.
Think of Parks and Rec, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of but
that
there's a show
too. And yeah, but the animal control guys in Parks and Rec were so funny.
I don't really remember them. I have to go back and watch those guys. I have to watch before my thing expires because I have the deal on the Peacock. And then I already canceled it for when it rolls. You know what? They wanted to roll me into something for over $100.
But that's what I wrote it. I wrote them all down when they expire because I'm out.
You could do it. Yeah, but you could do it in advance. It'll run until it expires. You don't have to wait because when I wait, I usually forget and then I get stuck with the thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that guy resigned. He made a deal to let his certification expire and promised not to renew it. Oh, did he promise? He made a promise. There's no problem with that. I'm sure it'll all be fine. So that's that. And I just think that how crazy is that she lived in Canton and it was another cop thing, right? A whole scandal. It even happened during a nor'easter. It's weird, right? And it's just so tragic. Only 23 years old and just awful. It's just over like for her for no reason. And she had the saddest life and she was excited about having a baby. She was a teacher's assistant. She told them all how excited she was. Telling you, man. It's awful.
And a lot of bad stuff is going on or we wouldn't have all of the datelines and
I really don't. I am done with. I know. I used to talk a lot more about true crime, but I just snapped out of it. I'm like, I don't want to be constantly in this despair of people. I think it was losing my son. I was trying to it was like Misery Loves Company type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say I started taking saffron and I'm telling you, it's supposed to really make your mood improve in general, make you more ambitious and make you just change your attitude. And a few months after I started taking it, I just suddenly had no interest in listening to the true crime anymore. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to listen to marketing podcasts and writing podcasts, and I'm going to pursue my career because I drive around so much when I do the deliveries. I was listening to miserable things all the time. And now I listen to positive things that are really helping my life. And I really do think the saffron has something to do with it because I just snapped out of it. So if anybody's depressed out there or sad or grieving or whatever, try saffron pills. They really help me. So
that's good.
That's a tip. And they're not even expensive. You can get them on Amazon. Cost is the brand. Those are the cheapest ones. So there you go. I do not get an affiliate thing for that.
Stick with us.
So now we're going to go. That's right. Okay. So now we're going to go back to part 2 of the horror movies because we completely ran out of time last time, and Pascale dipped, not on purpose. She didn't want to. And I was really drunk. I'll admit it. No.
I want to.
You love this.
I love
you want to
going
dip?
to bed. Always.
My God. But we
feel
filmed so early.
Mostly. Listen, every day of my life is jam-packed. I am tired as fuck. I don't want to.
You really are a
busy
woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now I want to be watching TV. Sorry, guys.
Well, we're going to talk about stuff you like now. So we'll start again. Yeah. This is part 2. Do you want to talk about Scream?
Yeah. Well, hold on. I actually
We talked
printed stuff
about
out. I never do that.
that's good. We talked about Wes
Yeah, but I'm not
Craven
organized.
the last time. It's all right. So you
Yes.
find it. I'll just start off by saying that Wes Craven did Nightmare on Elm Street, which we talked about last time, which I found that fascinating, the story about Nightmare on Elm Street. You
Yeah.
probably don't remember.
No, I kinda do. I kinda do.
The
Plus,
guys
I
who were
have it
killing
right
the kill.
here. You can't see it because of my background.
No. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But the killing fields, the people survive the killing fields only to die in nightmares.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
remember
awful.
that.
It's awful.
Look at me
Yeah.
remembering shit. Good for me.
Yeah, I
Okay,
really like
so
that. I didn't like it. It made me sad, but I thought it was really compelling. Okay,
yes,
you ready? Okay.
yes. I mean, this is very short. But did you
Well,
say
did
this? I feel
before
like
I did say it to you, but I also erased it because we were in the middle of it.
uh,
But let's just start by saying that Scream, in case people don't know, what's the name of the character in Scream?
Sydney,
Ghostface? No, the ghost,
Ghostface.
the killer. Ghostface. Okay. I only knew that last time when you said it. I never knew that. And it came out in 1996, and it was directed by Wes Craven and written by Kevin Williamson, who is the one that the story revolves around. And it stars David Arquette, who's in all of them, right? David Arquette and Neve Campbell
I
are in all
believe
of them, right?
so.
Yeah. Who?
Oh,
Rose McGowan, Skeet Ulrich, okay, and Drew Barrymore, and Matthew Lillard, who
yeah,
you told me about last time, but I still don't remember who he is.
Shaggy.
And the fictional town, they're in the fictional town of, that's right, yeah. The fictional town of Woodsboro, California, and follows high school student Sydney Preston Campbell. Campbell is the actress, and her friends who, on the anniversary of her mother's murder, become the targets of a costume serial killer. So is it that her mother was murdered by the same killer?
Well, they think it I haven't watched this movie in such a long time. So they suspect Liev Schreiber. I don't know if I Liev Schreiber? I don't know if I'm saying his name right. So he plays a guy named Cotton. I remember that. And he
He's
has
not even
something
listed
to
in these
do with the
actors.
mother.
Okay.
And so they suspect him. Yeah, I would have to watch it again. I don't remember
Was it
exactly.
so it wasn't this it wasn't the person who's in this costume that killed her mother?
No, I don't think so.
Well, gee, you would just think it would be, but okay.
I could be
All
wrong,
right.
but I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't know. And Casey described this entire movie to me. He described all of them to me. He made me like he loved telling me these things even though I hated them,
I
but I don't remember
It's
what he said
funny
either about
because
that.
I loved this movie, but I don't remember every detail.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember the important
anyway,
ones.
I
I
guess it
know who
doesn't
the
really
killers
matter.
are.
Yeah, he told me the killers and all these things, and it's very upsetting that somebody, the one I'm not going to say who, in case somebody wants to see this, but one of the beloved characters of this does get killed in perhaps the last one, or perhaps not the last one. I
I
won't
don't think
say
I
who.
got that
Never
far.
mind. Well, I heard about it from Casey.
Yes,
Okay,
at some
so
point
now,
I
so you
bail
want to
on
tell
these
us? So
movies.
Williamson, well, he thought they were all good actually. Williamson is the screenwriter, and he was struggling to get his work produced, and so tell us what inspired him to write this.
I said he watched a
You want to?
television special on the Gainesville murders,
Mm-hmm. Right.
mutilations in which several young people were murdered in a Florida community. That's all I know.
Well, the guy that did it, his name is Danny Rolling. I actually had heard about this in probably more than one podcast that I listened to. Is a really gruesome. It's kind of awful that it inspired this movie. I mean, I don't know. In a way, don't you think like the deaths of people inspiring a slasher movie is kind of perverse?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of movies that are very disturbing for other reasons. There's just a
Yeah.
lot of disturbing movies.
I know. I don't know. Something about this one, because I'm not going to talk about the details because it is really upsetting. But just the way this is a particularly, like, the details of this have been described very graphically as opposed to some cases where you don't always hear all the details. And for some reason, they describe a lot of what he did. I don't know if he must have confessed or something. Because how they know these details about him that you don't often get from murders, like so specific of things.
Yeah.
And I just find it particularly, I mean, it's always upsetting, but I guess because there's so many details and like one girl wasn't home and he waited for her to come. Like he could have just robbed the place, but he, like he just like hated people. He tried to kill his father in 1990 after an argument. He shot his father 2 gunshots to the head, the father lost an eye and an ear, but he survived, which is, it's not, I just wish that the guy had been caught then because then it would have just ended with the father thing. But no, instead he heads off to the University of Florida and has it's a spree of burglaries, but then he killed also. He stabbed 5 students, 1 from Santa Fe College and the rest from the University of Florida. So that's all I'll say about that. But the film was developed under the title Scary Movie. That was his script. Wasn't there a movie called Scary Movie?
Yeah, it's kind of
I feel like there was.
Yes. Yeah, it's
a parody.
What do you
Yeah.
call? Yeah, parody.
Yeah. Well, this was developed under
There's
that
more
title,
than
but I
one
guess they
of them.
changed it.
Yeah.
Was a series. Yeah, but this must have been first, but then they changed the title. They changed the title to Scream, which you got to admit, Scream is a good title for sure. And it became the subject of an intense bidding war from multiple sources before Miramax, I guess this is before the fall of Harvey, purchased the rights for its Dimension Films label. And Craven initially turned down the opportunity to direct it many times, but then he agreed after he read the script, as he was determined to reestablish himself after several career setbacks. It's odd. The involvement of Barrymore and Cox helped secure more support from the studio. Okay, that's it. And it became a huge, huge hit and franchise.
Yeah.
But in a way, I wish that maybe if they declared the names of the kids that died, I don't know. I feel like they should be memorialized. They should be known as much as the movie is, because they died. And I don't know.
I know, but it's like
Anyway,
every other
so
murderer or serial killer. You know all about them, but you don't know who the victims are.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
sad.
that's sad.
It's very sad.
Yeah. And we also know, we know bad people way more than good. Like, for example, what's his name? Benedict Arnold was our greatest general until he betrayed us. But I'll bet anything that if he hadn't betrayed us, we wouldn't know him. We would know his name, but we wouldn't know any more except like that. Like, we know General Knox because of Fort Knox, right? But we don't know any details about General Knox, right? So Arnold would have been like that. It's only because he betrayed us. It's like we pay attention more to when bad deeds are done.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's tragic.
People are the worst.
All right. So do you want to do people? Well, not all people, though. Not all people. Right?
Yeah.
We have good people.
Sure.
Our listeners are good people. Our
Yay,
listeners are
good for
people.
you guys.
We're a bubble of goodness.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right. So do you have the Amityville Horror on yours? Because we did we talk about, I don't know if we ever talked about it before. I know we talked about Poltergeist. You have
It's funny. I was just talking to my brother about the Amityville Horror the other day. I was asking him if he had ever been, we're Long Island people, if he had ever been to the house.
Yeah.
And he had, but he's like,
Was
it's
he?
like anything else. You look at the house. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know.
Right.
There's really not much to
what
see
are you
when
do?
you go to these places.
I know,
never
but it's like, that's what you do. I've gone. But I mean, I just think that's what you do wherever you are. If there's like a place of infamy a local place of infamy wherever you live, when you're a teenager, you just go look at it. That's just what you do. I'm really surprised you never did.
No, I'm not really usually interested in stuff like that. I don't care that much.
That's funny because you like the horror movies.
Yeah, I like the movie. I don't need to look at somebody's house. Who cares?
All right. I believe I was brought to this movie, too, the same week I saw Coma. But I was so upset by Coma that I think I've just blocked it completely out of my head.
Anybody would bring you
all
to
my
see
devastation is about...
Why do you go see these movies?
I was a kid. I was a little kid. I was probably in maybe... My friend had moved to Anderson, Indiana, and I went to go see her. And I was maybe in 6th grade, at the most 7th grade. I think 6th grade. And her mother brought us to these 2 movies that week. It was really
Did you
bad.
know any responsible adults at all?
No.
Neither did I, but I'm not bothered by this stuff, so it was just luck of the draw, like, things like that don't
Her
bother me.
mother Oh my God. We were so unsupervised when we went over there. Another time we were there and we just left and we climbed into, I don't know, she lived in a really, she lived in a wealthy neighborhood in Lawrence, but there was like an abandoned house next door for some reason. So I tried to climb we were not supervised at all. We went to climb into the building and I got all this glass in my head and it was bleeding. And I remember going up, the mother, she wasn't married yet, but that's why she moved, because she married this guy that's a doctor. And he became the head of the hospital in Anderson, Indiana, which, by the way, had the highest unemployment rate of the entire country at the time, that little town. But so they brought in somebody to be the head of the hospital, and he fixed my head up, and nobody told my mother, which was fine because my mother wouldn't have cared anyway. But all because, we all under this woman's supposed watch. I never remember seeing the woman anywhere. We were supposed to be watched, but we were just roaming like feral cats. And her mother gave my friend a lunch bag every day. And it was it wasn't like a little lunch bag. It was like a giant brown paper bag filled. It did have a sandwich of some kind, but then it was all kinds of junk, like just candy. It was like a sack of candy. And I remember when we went on school trips, she made me one too. And there we were just eating candy through the entire, hours and hours on the bus. So much candy.
That's like
Oh my
every kid's
God.
dream.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't good. It wasn't healthy.
Lord.
No. I know. Anyway, so tell us about the Amityville Horror.
Oh, hold on. I feel like I just had it.
Do you want
there
to?
it
I
is.
can if you want.
It's funny. I have read so much about the Amityville Horror, and I remember nothing. I just remember that someone kills some people, one of the family members, and I don't
Yes.
remember
Well,
what else.
but that's not. But the movie is not about the people, the person killing the family members.
It's about the family moves in after, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell the family?
Yeah,
Do you want
go
me?
ahead.
Okay. So Ronald DeFeo Jr. Well, do you want to do it? Do you have it?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered 6 members of his family in the house, right? But it's not, I don't know why, but they don't talk about that. They don't, that's not, it's about, supposedly the house was haunted from this killing
from
thing.
the murders.
And so the movie is about the Lutz. Yeah. Is it Lutz or Lutz? Lutz family?
Oh, I don't know.
Lutz? Lutz family during 28 days they spent in the home.
Yeah.
They bought it afterwards. They bought it 13 months later. And the home is 112 Ocean Avenue. So you go see that home just like everybody else.
They redid it. It doesn't look like that anymore.
Yeah. I saw it already redone. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
During the 28 days they spent in their home. And so their experiences launched a series of books and is the basis for 11 films. And Daniel Lutz, the eldest of the Lutz children, spoke about his experiences publicly for the first time in the documentary My Amityville Horror, released in 2012. And I don't have any more here, but I'm pretty sure that the kid was saying that there was all a hoax, and it wasn't true. From what I understand, the father was abusive.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about this on this podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like do you? Yeah.
This all sounds very familiar, but I think I might have seen that, My Amityville Horror. And I also read books about it. My memory is trash.
I guess. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that he said that they were all making it up, I guess, for the money and all that, because they did get a lot of money, I'm sure, from all these things, I guess.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder.
That's
so other
interesting.
people lived in the house after that. Nobody else said anything. It's just them.
But the guy was like I think he was a raging alcoholic. He was something to that effect, and he was very abusive. And, yeah. So, and it's interesting because also The Conjuring, I think that also might have been staged or something. I know we talked about that also on the podcast. So I had Annabelle, and I know you have Annabelle too. But I know The Conjuring. So we won't talk about The Conjuring, but The Conjuring and Annabelle were both with that couple. That psychic, those parapsychologists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I know in the Conjuring they show the doll Annabelle under glass, like that's part of it in the movie, and then there's a separate thing. So we won't talk about the Conjuring, but except this, I will say the funny story. I don't know if it's funny, but the girl from the kissing booth and the girl, and then what's her name? Joey King, right? Joey King. Howard loves the kissing booth, and she was also in that movie where she played the girl that kills her mother, the girl that was forced to pretend to be sick all those years.
And sister.
Yeah, yeah.
Her mother, Gypsy Rose.
Yeah. Yes, and Gypsy Rose has now got her own reality show.
She sure does.
God. And
I mean, what
I
else
don't know.
is she gonna do?
I know it was. Look, well, and she's a mess. I've seen I don't know how I wound up watching a couple, but man, she's a mess.
My God, look at what her mother did to her.
Okay, well, yeah, her mother did bad stuff, but on the other hand, she could have just left. She did no way had to kill her. She had in no way had to kill her. Okay,
I agree.
I actually watched that show. Did you watch the show? What was it called? The Act. Did you watch the show?
Yeah, no, I wasn't interested.
Well, I only watched it. Howard had talked about it, and honestly, I don't know why I did. I just did, it's not usually something I would watch, and it's awful. But I did feel the mother did have like a mental illness too. It wasn't like the mother was just this conniving person.
By proxy.
And there's no I'm not trying to excuse her behavior, but it is really sad. And I mean, for the movie, I guess they made an effect, and who knows if this really happened, but supposedly Gypsy Rose was like looking like really sad, like she almost warned her mother, almost told him not to do it, but then she didn't. And who knows, that could have just been for the effect on the show. Maybe, I don't know what happened, but it's just, there was really no reason to kill her. Because they could have just walked out of there when she was sleeping. There's absolutely she's an adult. She was over 18. Her mother could not have done, she could have also exposed the whole thing. There's a million things she could have done. She did not have to kill her mother. And she didn't. The boyfriend did, but she let him in to do it, And it's horrible. So Gypsy Rose, I don't know. Yeah, they're really, really psychologically a bunch of messed up people. I guess that's the answer.
Yeah.
But anyway, why was I even saying this? Joey King was in The Conjuring. It was her first ever role, or role of any consequence, I guess. She played one of the kids, and stuff happened to her that was so real. She said the set was definitely haunted. She said like a bunch of crazy stuff happened, and she became struck by some crazy illness. Like it was something that I have to research this, but I don't remember what she said, but it was like this crazy thing. But the minute the movie was done, she was fine.
Oh.
So I think that's interesting. But anyway, so you want to tell us about Annabelle?
Oh, the thing that, of course, I have no organizational skill. Actually I do, but not right now for some reason. Oh, there she is. That is a creepy ass doll. I have not seen these movies.
Very.
But the thing I found interesting
she's creepy.
Yeah, but it was a Raggedy Ann doll, not this doll. Like Raggedy Ann isn't creepy like that. I mean, I don't love Raggedy Ann.
But you wouldn't be able to keep you couldn't put Raggedy Ann into a movie because there's rights to that. You know what I mean? You couldn't make Raggedy Ann be a killer doll because
that's not right. Yeah, so it was gifted to a young nurse, and then a string of mysterious events occurred. Yeah, I should have read this before. So a medium stated that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a deceased 7-year-old named Annabelle Higgins. Guess that's where they got that name.
Right.
Oh, so this sounds like Chucky. The doll was blamed for violent attacks and at least 2 near-death experiences. And this also sounds like that Twilight Zone. Do you remember
so nobody died.
Tina?
I've heard about it on Howard.
I guess not.
I've never seen any of that.
The Twilight Zone episode. It's really good. But yeah, it's also about a very angry doll.
I won't watch any of that.
Twilight Zone, awesome show. But
no,
yeah. So
not for me.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Did she kill anybody in the movie? Like I said, I didn't see the movie.
Probably. I didn't see the movie either. I did see the beginning for some reason, but no. Well, you don't know because The Conjuring, nobody died.
Really? These are horror movies and nobody died?
Only the dog. The dog dies.
The dog gets it. That's not nice.
It.
But
it's awful.
You
know what I did? Casey insisted I watch The Conjuring, so I read the Wikipedia so I would know what happens before. That was the only way I could watch it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why you watch these scary
But yeah, the
movies.
dog dies. I hate
Yeah,
those things.
I know. So the allegedly haunted Raggedy Ann doll is kept in the occult museum. Where's that? I want to go there.
Well, it's owned by
Owned,
those people.
yeah, Ed and Lorraine Warren
Yeah.
with a message under the glass case reading,
Yes.
"Warning, positively do not open." Where is this museum? Do you know?
In their house. It's the thing is, first of
In
all,
their
this is an old
house.
thing. Like, I don't know.
That's goofy.
Well, maybe they had an office it's not a big museum. And they showed it in The Conjuring, but I don't know if it was the exact museum, but it wasn't very big. It's funny because in The Conjuring, they had their Annabelle doll from the movies. They didn't have a Raggedy Ann either. You know, they had the Annabelle doll,
Yeah, that is a
the one
creepy looking
in the
doll.
movies.
Yeah,
It
that
is a
doll is
creepy looking doll.
disturbing.
But I've heard stories about these Warrens that they are frauds. I don't know. I don't know either way, but I've definitely heard that. Have you heard about
Yeah,
them?
I have never heard about them.
Well, they're the ones that really are like The Conjuring and Annabelle are really kind of about them because they're the ones that the investigators, you know.
Yeah,
I think they wrote books about these. So they're the ones making all the money. I heard that something might be shady, but I don't know enough to really say.
I haven't seen any of those
All right. Well,
movies.
do you know? No, I wouldn't see them either. I saw the beginning of Annabelle. Okay. So then do you know about Open Water?
Yeah, I
The one where the
actually,
tourists are stranded? Yeah.
yes, I had that in too because I remember somebody at my house was watching it and I was kind of like I was doing stuff and kind of in and out of the room. And I was like, what the hell is going on in that movie? That's terrible. That is scary, scary,
Yeah.
scary. I could look at Freddy Krueger all day,
Yeah.
but that was I was like, this is very upsetting.
Yeah. Well, it's even worse because it's a true story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that a couple left behind in the open ocean after their scuba diving group
Yeah.
left without them isn't just the premise of Open Water, but the real story of Tom and Eileen Lonergan. The Lonergans were tourists visiting Australia's Great Barrier Reef when they were left behind January 1998. Experts doubt that the Lonergans shared the same fate as the characters in the film, but the couple was never found. Well, they somehow died.
Of
And
course.
that is
Like,
really
how were they
upsetting. Yeah.
living? Yeah, that's crazy.
How do you leave people behind? Don't you take it like you don't? I mean, I don't get that.
It can happen. If that tour
It's like
guide,
I watched that horror. Well, well, the tour guide should have gotten in trouble for sure. I mean, come on, how do you leave? You're supposed
yeah,
to
of
take account
course.
of people or something.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, that's
Oh my God,
scary.
it's awful. But yeah. I had to watch. My boyfriend made me watch that ski lift movie where the people are stranded on the ski lift. Oh my God.
Oh,
My
I,
God.
c-
It's the
I
same
can't
kind of
watch
thing.
that. I'm very, very afraid of
It was
heights.
awful.
That would scare the bejesus out of me.
It was
I've only been on a ski lift once.
one
It
of the
was
worst things I've ever
horrifying.
seen.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go on one ever, but I don't know why. Somehow I should have been stronger and not, because it is absolutely horrific. So many horrible things happen in that movie. So it's
yeah,
another example of those kind of movies where people left behind. Actually, it was pretty realistic how they got left on the ski lift. You know, like they actually snuck on it again, so nobody knew, something like that. There was a good reason, but
yeah.
it is really upsetting. So I'll leave
Good
it at
Lord.
that. I don't know if it's real. I hope it's not. I hope it's not at all.
Yeah, really.
Do you want to talk about the birds? I actually have a very nicely written thing about them.
Go right ahead.
Do you want to do it?
No, if
Okay.
you have a
Because
nicely
I did
written
piece
thing.
together. This one I actually did a little. Well, yeah, I patched together a few things about it. The article didn't have all that much, so I patched more in because I find it fascinating about birds attacking. But that kind
Oh
of
my
nature and
God.
all that is very
I don't know
interesting.
why they haven't. I mean, birds are really, when you think about it, they're very scary. They could just swoop down and peck your eyes
Yeah.
out. I mean, luckily they don't.
Right. It's true.
Just,
So I know.
birds are gross.
Like they don't. But
Sorry
this was
for
a scary
people who
movie.
love birds, but good Lord.
That's not nice.
Listen, they fly around
Why
and
you say
they just
gross?
poop on things.
So,
I'm not a big bird fan.
well, what are you going to do? Everything poops. I see
Yeah,
that,
but
but
not
I
in
mean,
the
I think it's cool.
sky.
I wish I could fly. That would be fun.
I know, but pooping from the sky
I would like to
is
fly in the sky. What are you saying, not in the sky? Oh, I thought you mean not fly in the sky. Well, where else are you going to fly?
no, I just mean the pooping from the sky.
They get a bad rap. It doesn't happen that often.
I'm just saying, I don't care for it.
I don't know. I feel bad.
I don't want
Well,
anything
all
bad
right.
to
The
happen
birds
to
can be
birds.
nice.
I
They
just
can.
don't love them. I'm not,
Right.
and I've owned 2
Well,
birds,
these
so that's
particular
weird.
birds, that is very weird.
Yeah,
You got some explaining to do.
I did love my birds.
Why would you own birds if you don't like them? You loved your birds. You just really shit-talked
did.
birds.
I know, I did love these birds.
So see, that's what I'm trying to say. Just because some birds are gross, it's not. You can't make a sweeping judgment of all birds,
Yeah,
right?
I can. That doesn't mean it's
All
right. Go
All
on,
right.
tell us about the birds.
Okay. So the real events behind the movie The Birds occurred in August 1961 in the Monterey Bay area of California when thousands, think of this, thousands of sooty shearwater seabirds. Now there's a name. Their name is sooty shearwater seabirds. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's not
and they
very nice.
became disoriented, dive-bombed homes, and died in the streets.
Oh.
So,
Okay, that's sad.
hold on. I know, it's sad. Edna Massini, the proprietor of the Venetian Court Motel on the beach at Capitolia, which is the city where one of the places where this happened in 1961, wrote about the day the birds came. And this is a quote. Struggling to the door, I was awed. I don't know why she was struggling to the door, but I was awed at the sight of hundreds of birds, all with the cry of a baby. They were heavy with sardines, unable to fly, and lost in the dense fog as they came in from sea, attracted by our lights. It's like she wrote the movie. They slammed against the building, regurgitating. Why are you laughing? My God. Why is this funny?
It's just the way she's saying it. It's just a little
I
dramatic.
don't think you would laugh if this happened to you.
No, of course I
Right.
wouldn't.
They slammed against the building. Okay, they slammed against the building, regurgitating fish blood and knocking themselves out. Stop.
That's horrible.
Oh my God, stop. You're making me laugh too. This is a horrible thing.
I'm so sorry.
She said, our manager phoned me, asked what to do. Wait, listen to this. She knew it was the end of the world. Panic set in. Sure, it was germ warfare. Then we got the germ warfare out of this too. That sounds like the person that says birds aren't real with the germ warfare.
Listen, Edna knows how to paint a picture.
So she does. She's good. In the Santa Cruz Sentinel, in August 18th, 1961, there is an account of thousands of birds raining down from the sky at 3 a.m., crashing. Maybe that's why the woman struggled to the door. It was 3 a.m. Crashing into homes and cars in Capitola, Pleasure Point, California. Wow, that is not an accurate name that day. Just off Monterey Bay. Monterey is such a nice place, too. The birds were seen crashing into windows, streets, and houses, and were even seen vomiting half-digested fish. Oh, I cut off the amount of people. I think it was six or seven people were reported bitten. Somehow I cut off the amount, but it was something like that. Yes. The word of the bird invasion spread fast throughout the state, and a phone call came into the Sentinel from mystery thriller producer Alfred Hitchcock from Hollywood. He requested a copy of that day's paper. He was already adapting a particular 1952 Daphne du Maurier story into a screenplay on the subject of killer birds. And less than 2 years later, Hitchcock's The Birds premiered. The events in the film even referenced the real-life attacks in a dialogue. So at least he gave credit in the film. That's nice.
Yeah, and it was a great movie.
So the cause, people were like, oh, the birds were just following. People actually thought that like some birds joined in with other birds, like they were doing it. The idea was that they just followed along and
they
did
were
it.
like, yeah,
that's crazy. But that's what they thought.
And
like a flock, like birds all flock together.
Yeah.
Let's just, I mean, it sort of sounds like it's like if they're in a cult and drinking the Kool-Aid in a way, right? Like that same kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it's not what happened. I mean, it's a weird story, and I don't know why anybody really fell for that. But decades later, scientists discovered that the birds had been poisoned by a toxin called domoic acid, which is produced by algae blooms in the bay. The birds ingested the toxin by eating fish that had fed on the algae. This caused them to become disoriented, leading to their erratic and aggressive behavior. Wow. Isn't
Oh,
that crazy? It's all because
yeah.
they ate the algae got eaten by the fish and the fish got eaten by the birds. So that's an example of why the global warming is another horrific reason. Like when one thing is affected small, comes around, comes to everybody. Isn't that crazy?
That is?
It's a crazy story. Yeah. All right. Do you want? Whoa! So I know you want to talk about this one because you know much more about it than I do. The Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacres. About the Leatherface was inspired by
Yeah.
this killer, and So tell us about that.
I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Ed Gein,
What?
maybe? Ed Gein or Gein. I don't know
Yeah, it's
how.
G-I-N. Yeah,
E-I-N. But I always say it
yeah.
wrong, and I never remember which way is the right way. So a couple of movies were inspired
I do
by
that
him.
too with things.
Yes, he was also known as the Butcher of Plainfield or the Plainfield Ghoul. So there's this
Didn't you say
Texas
that
Chainsaw
Silence of
Massacre.
the Lambs?
Yeah, Buffalo Bill, like he's the girl's in the well because he wants her skin, like he tells her
Yeah,
to put lotion on because,
yeah,
she's a big
yeah.
girl. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
That's
and
so gross.
Leatherface.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
says here, because I did not remember everything about him, he exhumed corpses from graveyards and made keepsakes from their bones and skin.
Oh,
And he also
okay, you
had
completely cut out. It might record that, but it might not. Say it again. You cut out.
he exhumed corpses from graveyards and made keepsakes from their bones and skin.
Okay, every time you tell the story, you completely cut out. I think your Wi-Fi is messed up because of the rain.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so he dug up bodies and made things out of their bones and skin. Did it come up?
Every time you tell the story, it friggin' cuts out. It might still show up in the recording because sometimes it picks up stuff even though it cuts out. So I don't know. Tell the story. Now she's gone. Man, this happened last time, but there was no storm. At least there's a reason this time. So I'll just say this because I don't know what we heard from her. Geen exhumed corpses from graveyards. Oh, wait, she's here again. There you
Hi,
are. You're
guys.
back.
Hey.
Okay, now we hear you. So tell us again about Geen.
So I think you were just saying it. So he exhumed corpses and made keepsakes out of their bones and skin. So
Disgusting.
listen, he was quite the head case. So there is a new Netflix movie. I have not watched it yet, but it takes some liberties. It doesn't follow his story exactly.
Not
So
a documentary.
no, it's got Laurie Metcalf in it. I love her so
Huh.
much.
Wow.
She plays his mother. So apparently he had a, a disturbing relationship with his
Wow,
mother.
what a shock, right? What a
Yeah.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was in the 1950s. Don't remember, and like he murdered people, but I don't exactly remember everything about it.
Because it says he exhumed corpses and made keepsakes from their bones, but he must have also killed people. If you're calling him the
Yeah.
butcher,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know. Yeah, but I don't remember what the story was.
yeah. And he wore women's clothes, right?
Yes. War Women's Gloves. Yeah.
And Leatherface does that in the original film too,
Yes.
apparently. Although I've never seen it.
That movie is disturbing.
Oh, I would
That's a
never.
movie I would
Yeah.
never watch again.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that ever. That sounds horrible.
And I
Wow.
like horror movies, but I actually have tickets to go see Carrie tonight.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know if I'll go because I'm just so tired.
Tonight. Wow.
Yeah, and then Child's Play tomorrow. That I'll definitely go to.
I can't even believe you would go to a movie on a night when you have to get up for work the next morning.
But no, I don't know what I was thinking. It's kind of stupid.
The original Carrie, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
With Sissy Spacek?
Yeah.
We talked
Such a good
about
one. Yeah.
Talked about how that got inspired, but it wasn't actually like a true it was true I know how he got inspired, but it wasn't like he actually saw a story. It was his own mind. He saw a girl getting attacked in the shower, being taunted, and
Yeah.
then he read an article about the telekinetic powers of teenagers.
Yeah.
I'm sure I talked about this. I don't remember if it was last time or some
Yeah.
other time, but we did. All right, then I think the last one I have is The Exorcist.
Yeah. I
Do
wasn't sure. Like, there's the exorcism of Emily Rose, maybe? What was her name?
Yeah, I've heard of that one, but I've never seen it. That was a real exorcism also?
I feel like I saw it. Well, yes. I don't remember the exact story, but this girl had, I don't even remember how many exorcisms.
Really?
Yeah, but she died. She was malnourished. Like, this family fucked this girl up because they thought that she was possessed.
Wow,
And she eventually died, you know.
that's awful.
I know, but they did. They ended up going to jail, the mother.
Really?
But yeah, I need to find it. I don't know where I put it.
Yeah, see if you have that, because I skipped it because I just didn't know the movie. I did like the movie Audrey Rose. I mean, I don't say
Okay.
I liked it, but I
Yeah.
was influenced by it. You
So
got it?
it was loosely based on the story of Annalise Michelle, maybe, a German woman who underwent an exorcism and later died from malnutrition and dehydration. Her parents and the priest involved were charged with negligent homicide following her death. But I feel like there were more exorcists. Like, I don't think she just had one.
Wow, that's awful.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's all I
I
have.
wonder if Audrey Rose came from anything real, because that movie, did you ever see that? That really upset me.
No, I don't know what that is.
I shouldn't have seen that either, because, like, I'm haunted by that too, now that I think about it. Is there anything I'm not haunted by? That's the
No,
question.
I don't know.
Well, I'm just gonna spoil it and say that Audrey Rose was I don't I think Audrey Rose is the name of of the girl that's supposed to be haunting this other girl whose name Templeton. I feel like the last name was why do I don't know why I know the last name was Templeton, but I think the girl was being possessed by Audrey Rose. But in the end, the freaking girl dies. Why is somebody showing me a movie? I was, again, a kid. I don't want to see a girl dying.
Yeah, I don't know why people took you to the movies or to those movies.
Oh my God.
Okay, give us The Exorcist because I'm hungry
Okay.
as
The
usual.
Exorcist continues to frighten audiences years after its 1974 debut, but the film's inspiration is just as chilling. The film's premise is based on, by the way, they wrote based off, and I hate that. It's based on people, like based on, get it? Perched
Yeah.
on something? Based on the case of a 14-year-old boy known as Roland Doe. In 1994, it was reported that Doe was possessed by something sinister. 1994? I thought the
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's couldn't be
All
right.
right, this is wrong. Okay, but whatever. Before 1974, somehow why it says that. It was reported that Doe was possessed by something sinister and an exorcism was performed on him by priests. The exorcism reportedly had to be stopped because Doe ripped off and threw a piece of the mattress spring at the priest. That doesn't sound that bad. But then red scratches would appear on Doe a few days later with marks spelling out Lewis. I don't know why they stopped the exorcism just because he ripped off a piece of the mattress spring. So what? It
No,
seems
and who's Lewis?
well, I don't know. They never figured it out.
I know. Mine says the same thing, but it doesn't explain who Lewis is.
Well, you and I must have read the same article. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
And I didn't check into this any further, but well, that's weird. I'm assuming The Exorcist I think The Exorcist dies, doesn't he? In the end of The Exorcist? The guy?
The
The
priest.
priest? Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know who Lewis is.
That is also a great movie. I don't know. I'm sure I've said this before, but I always saw it on TV and I'm like, why do people think this is so scary? It's not that bad. And then I rented it and I'm like, holy Jesus, that is a scary movie. It was good. It was a good movie.
What? Wait, so you saw it wait, first you
You
saw it, you
know,
didn't think it was scary?
yeah, because on TV, especially in those days, they cut everything.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This isn't so bad. Yeah.
I feel like there's another Exorcist. Isn't there one with a girl?
No, this one is a girl.
Oh, it's a girl? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. They made it a girl instead of a boy. Okay.
Yeah, Linda
Okay.
Blair.
It's Linda Blair. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, she made a whole life of talking
She
about
sure
that.
did. Good for her. Good for her.
She was good on Howard. Okay. So I have first, hold on. I first have a few quotes about your karma kind of thing because I talked about Proctor and all that. Um, if you err, it is not for me to punish you. We are punished by our sins, not for them. I like that.
I like that
Elbert
too.
Hubbard said that he was a writer, and he's also kind of he was also a philosopher. Frederick Douglass, this is interesting, said, "When men sow the wind, it is rational to expect that they will reap the whirlwind." That's kind of interesting.
That's interesting.
I wonder what exactly he meant by that, though. He must have meant like the Civil War, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. He actually had a lot of really interesting. That guy was very smart. And Robert Louis Stevenson said, "Sooner or later, everyone sits down to a banquet of consequences." I like that.
That's true.
And I hope we get that soon. There's certain people here. But he also said, and this is just a little more optimistic, I guess, or it shows that we have choices. Robert Louis Stevenson also said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." So in other words, you could plant good stuff, and good stuff could happen, which I like. And then I had read one after you disappeared last week. I read the G.K. Chesterton one, so I won't say it again. Everybody can go to the week before episode and listen because it's such a good quote.
Okay.
And Tim O'Brien, remember Tim O'Brien? He wrote The Things They Carried, which I totally love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great
He wrote
book.
Oh my God, it's great. In his essay, Notable Quotables, he notes that, quote, "Good stories do not resolve the mysteries of the human spirit, but rather and expand upon those mysteries." So that's for the horror movie stuff.
Yeah.
You have any quotes?
I do. I didn't know if you
All
were
right.
done.
Oh, I'm done, baby.
So this
Baby.
one, I looked it up as like everybody knows that, but it comes from two different places, which I thought was interesting. They're a little different, but I didn't know. So one is by Lord Byron, who wrote it in his poem Don Juan in 1823. "'Tis strange but true, for truth is always strange, stranger than fiction." But then Mark Twain, and I couldn't find where or when he said this, but he said, "Truth is stranger than fiction because fiction is obliged to stick to probability and truth ain't." And then, of course, one's from Kirk Hammett of Metallica. "The same sensations that you get in heavy metal are in horror movies. Heavy metal sounds evil and horror movies are evil." He's the guy that was on the tour before us. The guy that had his horror collection in the museum.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I love
I
him.
never realized that I'd never heard of the guy, but then you were like, "Yeah, I have a thing about him on my desk," and I was like, "Whoa."
Oh my God.
That was pretty.
I love him.
Yeah, that's funny.
He is a genius.
All right. You know, it's the truth. The truth is stranger than fiction thing. I think there's been many people said variations of it, you know, because like, you know what I mean? Like, but I like those I really like Lord Byron. That was very nice. But I like Mark Twain too. He's cool. He ain't.
I just didn't know. I didn't know that. I thought it was one quote.
Yeah, that's interesting. But there's another quote that I had, but I don't see it here now. But I had it said something about truth is stranger than fiction. Where is it? It's so weird because I know I had it actually. You made me think of it. It's the quote that from G.K. Chesterton that I said last time. So G.K. Chesterton also said something about stranger. I'll just no, I'm not going to read it. You guys can hear it from last week. But it's an iteration of that as well. I think writers think about that kind of stuff a lot, you know. I mean, they are taking stories. I think there's always a kernel of truth in everything, whether it's it could be an emotional truth, not necessarily a setting truth, a story truth, but there's always some sort of truth in fiction that sets off fiction. So, but anyway, so I'm glad you were able to come back this time. Oh my, what happened over there?
My cat, the cat feeder just went off.
Oh, he went down like, "Yeah, baby, yeah."
Yeah, he was just yelling in my face.
Yeah,
you heard that.
I guess it was time. Yeah, because it was probably time. He knows it's the time to eat.
Yeah,
They
and he's
know,
like,
you know.
"Hello." Oh, and now they're
That's funny.
fighting over it. Good lord.
No, dear boy. All right. Well, we've done it. We've said it all. All right. So what do I say?
See ya.
Okay.